Good morning.
Look at those fucking muscles. Holy shit. Wow.
Look at that
Wow.
face. Look at you. You bloody handsome man you are.
That's like God created a cut-off sleeve, Ben,
Yeah,
for
this
arms
was
like that.
made by God. God loves a
Dude,
bit
your
of cheek.
your deltoids have deltoids.
What a
That's
way to start the
incredible.
interview. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I've been working
Holy
pretty hard on
shit.
them. Appreciate
But
that.
I gotta say, homie on the left looks like he's jacked as well. You guys do MMA or something?
No, I just like donuts. I just shape
You
it
like
well. I hold it well. Yeah, really
I-
well
I'm
donut
obsessed.
shaped.
I'm obsessed with MMA, and you guys have some great fighters down there, and a great fight coming up as well.
We actually have a local boy that fought quite recently that did quite well from where we are, just near
Oh
Sydney.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, Israel Adesanya's fighting down there really soon. There's a big fight.
Have
Not
you
sure.
ever
Is it?
dabbled yourself?
I did when I was younger. This is kind of before MMA was a thing. But I really was into MMA when the tapes when we first started watching them on like DVDs and stuff. And it was like a sumo wrestler would fight a karate guy, and a boxer
Yeah.
would fight jujitsu, and
Yeah.
I was
Proper mixed
into it.
martial arts.
Yeah, yeah. And now I've really gotten back into it over the past few years.
I
It's
used to
great.
love that concept of the whole mixed martial arts, and some of them weren't even martial artists. Like I used to love, what was his name? Was it Tank Abbott? And there's like, what's his style? And he's like, he's a street fighter. I was like, yeah,
Street fight.
okay. Yeah. He just
Exactly.
gets in fights in the street.
Exactly. I love that too. I mean, it's because there was always that conversation when we were kids, like, what's better, karate or kung fu or boxing? Would a boxer beat up a wrestler? And
Yeah.
now we know. Now we know.
Uh, where do you stand on that? Like, I feel like the jujitsu seems to be the one that everyone goes to as being like jujitsu is the one that wins, but as long as you can get like grappling, otherwise, when it's
Yeah.
like straight up contact, like striking,
Mhm.
that's a different field altogether.
The thing is, though, the strikers are getting so good at defending against takedowns. So you can have somebody like Sean O'Malley or something that just puts your lights out. I mean, he just had this crazy fight against Aljamain Sterling, and who's an incredible uh, grappler. I don't know if his jujitsu is his specialty, but anyway, he gets people to the ground and just submits them. But O'Malley was just fucking knocked his ass out. It was incredible. What a fight.
Yeah, there's some insane hits in some of those matches, and it's just like, how do you get up after that? Yeah, that's the thing that kills me when you see the guys that just like it's a straight up uppercut. They're on the ground, seemingly out, and then
Yeah.
gives them like 3 seconds. They're like, oh, well, I guess I better go up now and just go again. I'm out
Or
instantly.
the face, like a knee to the face, and then they come back going the fight, or an elbow. I would be in the hospital after maybe, I mean, I don't think I would last 12 seconds.
Yeah, I bump my head and I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah,
They're there with
yeah,
their nose plastered on their face and they're fine.
I got a lot of respect for those folks. They kick ass,
So,
literally.
given that, I mean, you got to kind of stay looking. You can't do what you do, being beaten up and bloodied and smashed in the face. What do you do to keep yourself fit? What's your go-to regime?
Well, I'll tell you my big secret.
Oh, this would be good. I need this.
I'm gonna write a book one day, man. It's gonna be this. No, the secret, first of all, is having a really healthy mother who taught me from a very young age, like, kind of those basic things a lot of people don't get taught, like, hey, it's probably not a good idea to eat white flour or white sugar, or, some of those basic things, and eat a well-balanced, have a well-balanced diet and stuff. But some of the big things that I do is I sleep consistently. Besides this year, I've been actually one of my worst years for sleep. But sleep, I eat healthy, and I exercise. It's just the big dumb stuff, or those are the most important things. And all the people that I know that are, hit it hard, party hard, never sleep, they use it shows. So those are the first things, and then gotta just take care of yourself, brother.
I'm big on
But you
sleep
got
hygiene,
good.
and I have questions
Let me
about
let me
that.
guess how old you are. I'm gonna guess how old both of you are, and
Okay.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. First of all, I'm gonna guess who's older. I'm gonna say Homie with the Cutoff is a little bit older.
Quite younger.
By
Maybe
about
I was just
6 years, right?
Yeah, I'm 6 years younger.
look at the smile. Look at the smile on his face over there now.
Because he's a fucking. You're both vampires, to be honest. I'm stuck with you motherfuckers never aging over here. I'm aging by
But
the
you guys
day.
look like you're mid-20s at most
Uh,
to me.
You are welcome back anytime.
yeah, you can come on anytime. Yeah, we're going to send you that gift basket now. 41 and
35.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, well, you're men. You're
it's the magic
men.
of camera.
Yeah, you're men. You know, we
Shave
got
the beards and we're 12 though. So
That's right. Exactly. And then a funny thing happens at a certain age, you shave your beard and you turn into like kind of like someone's grandmother or something. You have to,
Yeah.
you get so like old. Now, if I shave, I'm so skinny. I'm like a skeleton. So,
yeah, because you lose half your face.
Yeah.
You're so used to seeing it.
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we got an album coming out soon.
Yeah, you
we're
do.
stuck
We
in
should
all
probably-
the aesthetics. Yeah, we wanna talk about that.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
I forgot we were doing an interview. We were just shooting this shit, which is nice. That's a nice way to do it. Is just to have a conversation. People probably enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah,
That's our-
100%.
yeah,
We're not
that's our
very good
go-to.
at doing the actual professional stuff, but if you want to just banter for a while, we're all down for it. But yeah, let's talk about the brand new album because it's a bit of a change of tempo for you guys.
I think it is and it isn't. I mean, if you've been tracking what we've been doing the past few albums, it's certainly in line with where we've been headed. And when you listen to the entire album, there are songs like 7 to 1, there are songs like Avalanche, which I feel like are more connected to our very first album
Yeah.
than songs that we may have made on our second and third album. So we have a little bit of everything. There are some songs that are very succinct, that are very immediate, that are very vulnerable. But this album is very different for us because we stripped away a lot of the stuff that we usually rely on. Big layers of instruments, giant heavy guitars all the time. And, you know, we wanted it to be about the vocal and about connecting. We also wanted to do something totally different, even if we fall flat on our face.
Yeah.
And to remember to experiment, to explore, to fail. Those are important things for an artist. You have to do that in order to, you know, stay alive creatively. So there are different types of songs, but you know, it's still me and my brother, as it's always been since the very first album. My brother and I were signed in 1998. And we put our first album out in 2002. So this is our 6th album, which is crazy. I never even thought we would make one album.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it feels like a brand new beginning for us. It feels like we're kind of starting over. And in recent times, the kind of fun thing is, although we have exploring new avenues, at the concerts, we're playing a lot of really old songs. So it's great to be able to do that and then have something new and different to play. And the new songs are great too, because, you know, a lot of the older songs are really long. I mean, they're like 5-6 minutes long. Sometimes live, they clock like 8 minutes long. And that's cool. We love that. We kind of fall into those songs. But then it's nice to have these short little bursts of energy immersed in the set.
You used the word succinct there, and I think that's a great way of describing it because each song on them, I think the longest song is about 4.5 minutes. Like they are quite tight little packages. Each song has its own moment. It makes the listening experience very easy. Was that a conscious decision going into it? You wanted to make something that was snappy and short and to the point for the entirety of the album?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what I really wanted to do, rather than, you know, I wasn't just thinking, oh, let's make it as short as we can. I was like, okay, what's the most important thing to say? There's this old quote by Abraham Lincoln. He was writing someone a letter, and he said, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. And I was always like, you know what? I get that. It's like, you know, sometimes you work on that email. I'm always trying to write a letter to somebody, a very important message, write a speech. It's always like, okay, you overwrite, and then what can I lose? What can I get rid of? Yeah. It was really the this song. Like, this album is like simple is best, simple is best, simple is best. What can we lose? Even up through mixing, it was like, what can we mute? What doesn't have to be there? Everything should earn the right to be there.
Yeah.
So that's where we were coming from.
And yeah, like you said, it is sort of simplistic in the layers, but I think that it makes it more enjoyable sonically because there's some really big, heavy sonic moments throughout it, and but it's not ever overdone. You know, it doesn't feel like you're fighting to listen to any specific part of it. It is basically that sonic driving rhythm and the vocals, and it just it's so
Yeah,
easy to listen
I
to.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And, my brother and I both, this is what we wanted to do. Nobody's put a gun to our head. We could do whatever we want to do. That's what's kind of great about music. There's no rules. Not like somebody else wrote the script and told us this is what you have to do when you're making your sixth album. This is what we could easily just keep writing, traditional 30 seconds of Mars songs. That's a fairly familiar thing for us at this point.
Is that why
Not that it's,
you?
but
So
yeah.
is that why you love doing music? Because in obviously with film and stuff, you are directed, you are told, but music, it's basically all about you and your control over what you're trying to do and say and present.
Yeah, I think that is one of the reasons, and it's really important. It was always really important to me to have the responsibility that comes along with control. Because control is sometimes like a dirty word. Oh, you're a control freak. But actually, it's quite a beautiful thing because when you have control, you have that responsibility, you're also accountable,
Mm.
and it forces you to carry the burden of the work of what needs to be done to finish, not just write a song. Writing a song is easy. Finishing a song is really difficult. So that stuff has always been very important to me. As I've gotten older, the last couple albums, my brother started to participate more as a producer, as a a musician who's playing more than just the drums, as a writer, and that's great. Collaborating with people is like, God, it's such a relief to share the burden of that responsibility. But for a long time, I needed that. And when you do take that on, you learn so much too, because you have to find the answers. If you're the one that's going to say, hey, you know what? I wrote a song and I have an idea of where I think this should go. And this is what I think the guitar part should be. And this is how I think the vocals should be layered. And if you do that, you also have to take the responsibility when it doesn't work. So you put yourself on the line, and by doing that, it forces you to learn. With films, you're given a script, you're given you have a director and an editor and music. There's all kinds of other things that come into play, so it's more collaborative. But the music, it's very personal, it's very direct.
With you said before about it's been sort of like anyone that's followed your journey can kind of see the direction that the album's gone. And there are moments in there that are still very 30 seconds. Like you've got some really big whoa moments, and we love a whoa.
Oh, yeah. Goddamn fucking whoa-ohs, my lord.
We love a whoa.
I don't think I can make an album without a whoa.
I'd be disappointed if you did. I don't want to lie.
Dude, on this album, I have pram-tams, I have whoa-ohs, I have ooh-ohs, I have, what do I have in 707? I have way. I mean, we've just done every form of the inverted whoa, the whoa.
The thing with that though is that we've seen you live before, and your audience. It's such a great way of getting that audience participation, and I've never seen such a tremendous amount of audience participation from a live performance. Is that something that's considered when writing it? It being like, cool, this is the moment for the crowd to sing back to us, or is it just that what fits the song and you enjoy doing it?
I always think of what songs will be like when we're standing on stage in front of an audience. I mean, really, we're very much a live touring act. That's what we do. We play shows, we play concerts, and we do travel all over the world and play overseas a lot. So those kind of like using your voice as an instrument rather than just singing a lyric is really beneficial when you're communicating across different languages and cultures and stuff. It's not like the defining reason why, but it's certainly in there as one of them. And it's funny that in the beginning, I never thought that we would ever have a song that an audience would sing, because our first album really didn't get that response from people. I always felt like when we played live to the first time, I never thought people liked it very much. Um, it's had a life of its own since then. But on our second album, once we got out there, there was something happened, and now, people sing so loudly and participate so much in the show. There's a lot of energy, a lot of exchange with the audience, and I love that.
Yeah, it's such a cool dynamic.
Yeah, for sure. Now, when talking about being on stage and the songs, being protected to the crowd on stage, and like you were saying earlier, you've been playing a lot of older songs. With the difference in the style of the music and the production and the sound of it on album, how does that go with the older songs that are much more sort of guitar, bass, drums, vocals than the newer songs? And was it hard for you to try and get those to seamlessly roll into each other through a set?
Not at all, because it's especially live, it's me singing and it's Shannon playing the drums, and as long as that's what's going on, the two of us on stage, it's 30 Seconds to Mars. I mean, I really believe that if you, like an artist, whatever choice you make in that period of creativity is a valid one. It may not connect with people as deep as another choice, but it's a valid one. Even if you want to make a jazz song, or if you're a painter and all of a sudden you want to put a sculpture into your show that's mostly canvas. I mean, I think there are appropriate choices that you can make that are quite, diverse. So I don't worry about that too much. I feel like if it's Shannon, if it's me, it's 30 Seconds to Mars.
I have song specific question. It's a two-part. You inspired this actually. Your favorite song on the album, and then the other side of that is you have to cut one song from the new album. What song is it?
This is the hard one.
Ooh. My favorite song would be 7 to 1.
Same.
Oh, wow. That's great to hear. Because I think it's probably the most 30 Seconds to Mars song. It feels like, that we've been running with that. Some through line in that song has been part of what we've done from the very beginning.
Sure.
And it was very contained song. I was just me, my brother, and our engineer, and we just worked on that song and got it done. And it's a little strange, a little mysterious. It's got a really kind of hard-hitting rhythm that drops in, and I'm pushing my vocal to the limit. So, but I have those songs on albums. On every album, we tend to have a few really darker songs, but they never really get that much attention. I mean, so sometimes instinctively when I go to write another album and I write some of those type of songs, I'll steer away from them thinking, oh, well, I don't know if, they were appreciated. Every artist has in them some desire to be loved. So, just, I think instinctually, I think, oh, maybe that's, I don't know, but people didn't seem to really want that sort of thing, so I think I stay away, but I'm glad 7 to 1's on the album. The song that I would cut would probably be it would probably be 7 to 1, because for the same reason. Because I guarantee you, like, you might like it, I might like it. It'll be the song that gets the fewest amount of streams. It'll get the fewest amount of connectivity. Maybe the people that like it will feel it very deeply, so it's still worthy. It's still valid to put on the album. But in terms of like having to edit your album, if you have to edit, it would be that or Avalanche, because an Avalanche is still, I feel like, quintessential 30 Seconds to Mars. It's anthemic, it's big, it's kind of more of a rock song. It's got guitars, it's got me pushing the vocal to the limit. But yeah, probably one of those two. I think
that's an interesting answer. It's the first time we've had an artist pick the same favorite song as the song they cut.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, do we want to leave with the actual hard question?
Yeah, this is the
last question. It's the divisive one. All right. Now, you guys play long sets, and we know you're a busy man. You've got to get going. But the final question is, you have to go on stage, right? Huge album launch show, 2 hours long. before you go on stage, you have to put on either cold, wet socks or cold, wet underwear to do the duration of the show. What do you choose and why?
I would definitely go with the socks.
God damn.
Yeah, I knew I liked you.
Go with the socks. You know, I mean, you gotta keep the junk dry.
You're absolutely right. You do.
And I don't, you know, I don't mean to offend anybody using medical terms like that, but you gotta keep the junk dry.
That's the quote. That's it right there. Dude, thank you so much for taking the time. We're so excited for you and for everyone to get this album in their hands. Hopefully they all love it as much as we have. We appreciate you taking time.
September 15th. I appreciate you guys. See you.
See you soon.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.